Welcome to Yurcak Field. Tom Colker, Dan Lett coming to you as we get set for the final home game of the regular season for Sky Blue FC. It's Sky Blue against Western New York. Dan, one great thing tonight, the weather. It's a perfect night for soccer here, and it's New Jersey Youth Soccer Night, so we're going to have a lot of fans in the crowd. There's a lot of activities going on around Rutgers, but just a great night for soccer here to close out the regular season.
Yeah, the weather is fantastic. Good number of cars in the parking lot. Should be a decent crowd tonight for Sky Blue and the Flash. Two teams who are on the outside looking in. Sky Blue looking far in. The Western New York Flash right on the fringes, but it looks bleak for them, and their coach after their last game said, not for us this season. Even if we win our last four, it won't be enough.
Well, they currently sit in 6th place. They're just 6 points out of the last playoff spot. Meanwhile, Sky Blue 7th place right now. They have just 19 points on the season, so they may be playing more of a spoiler role tonight. But for this Western New York team, the big news, they get their star back. Abby Wambach comes back into the starting lineup. Has only played in 4 games this year, or 6 games, but has 4 goals. 2 of them came against the Sky Blue team, but hasn't played since May 31st.
And she started out the season not playing. She broke a bone near her eye. Now she had her knee sprain, the LCL sprain that she suffered against the Dash. So it's been a rough year for Abby Wambach physically. But one thing we know about her, she can score a goal on a dime. It doesn't take more than a half chance, even a quarter chance, for her to score a goal. And she and the Flash have dominated Sky Blue since the opening day 2013 win here for Sky Blue. It's been 5 in a row, including the playoffs and the one game up in Western New York earlier this season, and Wambach will have to be controlled, and it will not be easy.
Hey, you mentioned that one game coming back early in the season, May 11th. It was a game in which Western New York scored both goals in the second half coming from Wambach. Tonight for Sky Blue, Jill Lloyden in goal. It's been kind of a revolving door in goal for Sky Blue this year, and Lloyden gets to start tonight.
It has. I kind of feel like Lloyden is slowly kind of winning that job. If the season were longer, I think you would see Lloyden maybe getting the bulk of the playing time over Brittany Cameron. I think Cameron has been a little bit down from where she was last year. Lloyden has been a little bit better than she was last season, though a little bit inconsistent. And going back to that May 11th game, Kelsey Weiss played in that game. She'll play tonight for Western New York. That was her debut game. She had a shutout. Didn't make a single save in that game. Almost had an assist, actually. It turned out that review showed that it wasn't actually an assist, but she booted a goal kick all the way down to the other side. But that was also the game Taylor Lytle got hurt for Sky Blue. And you can probably go back and pinpoint that as the moment where the season went from slow start to probably not really savable at that point when they lost Lytle. She was just starting to really click in midfield with Katie Friels, and she hasn't played since.
One bright spot for Sky Blue has been Nadia Nadim, who has played the last few games here and really been a bright spot on offense for this team.
She has, very energetic. She kind of parks herself in between the back line and the defensive midfield, and the Flash defense this year has been a little bit of a work in progress. They've got Brittany Taylor. She was a best 11 defender last season. At times this year she's played just like it, but also too many fatal mistakes from her. So Sky Blue will be looking to have Nadim pressure the back line, pressure them into mistakes. Also, no Catherine Reynolds. She got hurt in the last game and lost to Boston last Friday.
You mentioned Reynolds. She started 19 games, so anytime you lose someone of that caliber who's played that much, that's certainly a big loss, and this Western New York team is going to have to adjust to that here tonight.
Yeah, it'll be Edmonds and Palmer on the outside. Both good players, but young players. Probably a step down from Catherine Reynolds, who was also a stalwart for them last season, so they'll have to be good in front of their rookie goalkeeper, Weiss.
Let's take a look at the picture of the league right now. The top teams, if the playoffs were to start today, Seattle, Kansas City, Washington, and Portland. Washington with a huge 2-1 win over Kansas City on Friday vaults them into 3rd place. So right now, those are your top 4, but still Chicago in the mix and this Western New York team.
Yeah, Washington really a great defensive effort in the second half to beat Kansas City from down a goal, so they go into 3rd place. Seattle later that night clinched 1st place in the league, so they'll host their semifinal. If they win it, they'll host the championship game, which is 1 month from today, believe it or not. We'll be crowning a champion in this league. Kansas City missed a chance to clinch a playoff spot last night. They'll play Seattle this weekend, and you mentioned the Red Stars. They play Washington on the weekend. They probably need full points from that game. They're kind of in a strange stretch because they're 6 in a row without a loss, but only one of those games is a win. So 1-0-5, and they haven't been able to jump from 5th into the top 4, and they can possibly do that if they get a win. They need Portland to slip up too.
Would you put Kansas City in the same class as Seattle to this point, or is it still Seattle and then the other teams making the playoffs?
It's impossible, Tom, to say that Kansas City's been as good. Seattle has 15 wins, only 1 loss, and a bunch of draws. They beat Kansas City once. They drew them another time, but I do think Kansas City is good enough to play with Seattle, but they have to go out and prove it. I'll be interested to see Saturday. Now, Kansas City's not in, but Seattle's already got first place locked up. So Kansas City might be going in thinking, we've got to play them again probably to win the championship. So I'll be interested to see what both coaches do. So I think it's hard to say Kansas City's been as good. Seattle has clearly been the best team. But if you give me one game for the title, I don't put it past Kansas City to hang with them and beat the Rain.
Kind of surprising comments from the Western New York camp. I mean, they're only 6 points out of the last playoff spot. They play here tonight. They have another game against Boston, a return game against Sky Blue. So they're right in the mix. If they handle business, there's no reason to think that they couldn't be right there in contention for that fourth playoff spot.
Right. Aaron Lyons said that it's not going to happen for the Flash this season, that they're playing for pride and next season's jobs. Now, since then, Chicago got held to kind of a bad draw at home by the Dash, and Portland lost by 5 goals, which changes the goal difference scenario. And if they finish tied, Flash and Thorns, it'll come down to goal difference because they split the season series. But the other thing for the Flash is they haven't won consecutive games since May, one of them being the game over Sky Blue.
Yep.
So it's one thing to say, well, sure, if they win their 4 games, then will they be able to make it? And the coach has to say, yeah, that won't be enough if we win all 4 of them. But they haven't done anything lately to show that they can win 4 games in a row, even if 2 of them are against Sky Blue, and maybe Boston is a place they can go in and get a win despite losing at home to them on Friday. So, I mean, they really have to play a lot better and more consistently to even think about winning those 4 games to see if it works or not.
Yeah, they're just 1-3-1 in their last 5 games. But and look, anytime you got Wambach back, a player for talent, that certainly changes things, and that gives you a chance in every game, no matter who you're playing.
Well, that'll help. Now, the theory is that when Wambach is in, the entire team and the attack kind of slows down a little bit. That might be the case, but Abby Wambach can flat out score. She's good working with Carly Lloyd, and if they slow things down, maybe it helps their defense a little bit in the back because maybe the counterattacks don't come quite so fast and furious. So overall, it cannot be a bad thing to have Abby Wambach in the lineup and starting.
We're going to see 4-3-3s essentially from both teams tonight. Talk about a key or two for Sky Blue.
Well, Sky Blue has to find a way to get Nadia Nadim into the match. She was all over the place when we were here against Washington in the 4-2 win. She wound up with a goal and an assist. Kelly O'Hara was involved in all 4 goals. But against Kansas City, they got dominated in the midfield. And so Nadim didn't really have much to do. She eventually took advantage of a late mistake, pounced on that, and scored the goal. And for the Flash, they need to good, solid build-up out of the back, get Carly Lloyd involved, give Lloyd time and space to find Abby Wambach, and then have Wambach do her thing. And again, it only takes a half or a quarter chance, and Wambach can put one away and change the game.
Well, that is the pregame report from down here on the field. We'll take a short timeout, and we'll send it up to the broadcast booth. Michael Watts and Daniel Diavanzo will have the call. It's Western New York against Sky Blue coming up after this short timeout.
You get the look. You get the leash. You get out the door. You get sudden numbness and a severe headache, signs of stroke. So you get help. You get to a Meridian emergency room. You get treatment found only in primary stroke centers to stop stroke in its tracks. You get better. And back to your best friends. Learn more at meridianneuroscience.com.
The Soccer for Success program is an innovative after-school program that uses soccer as a tool for social change, specifically to fight childhood obesity.
We're funding ongoing programming for these children. After-school hours. After-school hours for children are the most dangerous time for children in this country. We're filling that gap with a positive program that has health benefits, social benefits, and it's just plain fun.
Ladies and gentlemen, we direct your attention to midfield, where Sky Blue FC General Manager Tony Novo, being accompanied by the family of a young soccer star, Lexi Taylor Mason. Lexi played for St. Mary's in Middletown on the U12 Magic. Back in May, our Sky Blue Stars joined with the St. Mary's Friends and the Mason family in a celebration of the life of Lexi in the game which brings us all together. Today, Sky Blue FC presents Rob and Denise Mason, along with Lexi's sisters Brianna and Jessica, a very special Sky Blue jersey. Thank you, Tony, and a very special thank you to the Mason family and to everyone at St. Mary's. The referee for tonight's match is Josh Wilkins, assisted by Albert Calise and Emily Buse. The fourth official for tonight's match is David Bork. And now the starting lineups for the visiting Western New York Flash. At forward number 4, Samantha Kerr. At midfield number 6, Angela Salem. At midfield number 7, McCall Zerboni. At forward number 8, Sonia Bermudez. At midfield number 10, Carly Lloyd. Defender number 12, Kristen Edmonds. Defender number 13, Brittany Taylor. Defender number 17, Catherine Williamson. Defender number 23, Haley Palmer. The captain, forward number 20, Abby Wamba. And starting in goal, number 19, Kelsey Weiss. The Western New York Flash are head coached by Aaron Lyons, assisted by Pedro Losa. Goalkeeper coach is Rudy Pompert. And now, your 2014 Sky Blue FC, presented by Meridian Health System. In goal, wearing number 21, Jill Lloyd. Defender number 4, Caitlin Ford. Forward number 9, Nadia Nadeem. Midfielder number 10, Katie Friel. Forward number 11, Maya Hayes. At midfield number 12, Ashley Nick. At midfield number 13, Sophie Schmidt. Defender number 18, Lindsay Cutshaw. Forward number 19, Kelly O'Hara. Defender number 22, Cammy Levin. And your captain, defender number 3, Christy Ramco. Sky Blue FC is head coached by Jim Guevara, assisted by Takayoshi Ishihara and Jay Cooney. Sky Blue FC athletic trainers are Sue Penrod and Mike Hackett. Ladies and gentlemen, would you all please rise and remove your hats as Army National Guard soldiers, First Lieutenant Carlos Sabogal, Master Sergeant Richard Shanahan, Sergeant Dale Marcel, and Private First Class Ashlyn Pickey present tonight's colors. Performing the anthem this evening is Amy Susnovich.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light
race is coming to its thrilling conclusion in the National Women's Soccer League, and we welcome you to tonight's presentation of the NWSL. It's Sky Blue FC in 7th place. 4 teams make the playoffs against the 6th place Western New York Flash. Hi everybody, with Danielle Diavanzo, I'm Mike Watts. Pleasure to have you with us here tonight, and when you look at this matchup, 1 point isn't really an option. 3 points or bust for these teams.
At this point, it's you gotta win. Both teams looking to get into that playoff spot. Western New York having the advantage in the 6th slot, Sky Blue FC in the 7th. Both teams haven't had a win in their last game. Western New York hasn't won in the last 3. Sky Blue FC lost on the road on Sunday 2-1 against MC Kansas City. So they want to continue the home momentum they had against the Washington Spirit on July 20th when they won that one 4-2. Their most explosive offensive game of this season so far.
Well, it's going to be tough because this is a Western New York team that has had Sky Blue's number over the last couple of years to the tune of a 5-1-0 record. What has Western New York done that has really put Sky Blue in a bind?
A lot of it has to do with the Flash having a very physical game, and it gets into Sky Blue's head. You'll see they get frustrated and then they start to fall apart, and the Flash are very good at finding the splits through the midfield, and we saw that against FC Kansas City as well, where through the midfield is where a lot of teams beat Sky Blue FC. It's going to be key tonight. The 3 in the middle are the same in this game as it's been recently, with Katie Friels at the top and Sophie Schmidt and Ashley Nix sitting in as the 2 holding defensive center mids.
Yeah, let's take a little more of a peek at that lineup for Sky Blue FC in this game, and really majority of it remains the same. It's what we've seen, but Sky Blue making a couple of smaller changes.
The only real change in this lineup is Lindsay Cutshall is starting in the back line, and Christy Rampone returns after missing the last game due to a concussion. Coco Goodson is now sitting on the bench.
And meanwhile, when you look at Western New York, they've been missing maybe the best scorer in U.S. women's national team history. Abby Wambach is in the starting lineup. She returns. She is a huge addition to this team.
Abby Wambach has Sky Blue FC's number, and for Sky Blue, looking at this lineup, seeing Abby Wambach back on the pitch, a little nerve-wracking. We'll see how they're able to adjust, but Abby Wambach returns after recovering from the LCL injury she suffered back on May 31st against Houston.
Yeah, certainly so. A big addition for this team. And, well, as we turn down to the field, it's going to be a Sky Blue team that is desperate, to say the least, to try and get back into it. They've got a game in hand on Western New York, 19 games played as opposed to 20 for the Flash, but they're down in the standings by 5 points. So really 3 points just puts you back into the fringe of the NWSL playoff picture. Both teams down on the field. It's going to be the red jerseys for Western New York and for Sky Blue in the blue and the white. Sky Blue will move right to left on your computer screen to open this game tonight. It's in the upper 70s in New Jersey as Western New York made the trip down and was able to get a training session in yesterday. Nadia Nadim stands over the ball, and she has been impressive in recent games. 2 goals since joining Sky Blue FC, and for Sky Blue to win tonight, one would think that she'll need to have another impressive performance for Sky Blue. We're underway in New Jersey. Western New York and Sky Blue looking to stay in the playoff picture, sitting in 6th and 7th in the NWSL table.
Ocean Medical Center, Riverview Medical Center, Southern Ocean Medical Center, Bayshore Community Hospital, and the Meridian Partner Companies. A special thanks to Sanko Shoprite.
Abby Wambach is starting right in the middle of a 4-3-3 for this Western New York squad. We'll see her being the focal point not only in the air, but she's also so talented in really every time she touches the ball, no matter how she gets it.
And that's another area that Sky Blue FC seems to struggle against the Flash, is in the air, especially in the midfield and defensively. Abby Wambach being probably the best female athlete in the air. You look at the number of goals she scored with her head at this point. You assume the ball comes into the box. You know Abby Wambach's going to try to get ahead on it.
And certainly Ashley Nick being in the starting lineup makes a lot of sense. She is Sky Blue's perhaps best player in the air. Here's a ball deep up the left wing. It's held and sent across for Wambach. But here's Jillian Lloyden grabbing it. Not too much damage early, and Lloyden gets the call again here for Sky Blue. And of late, she's done a pretty good job of keeping Sky Blue in the game and making some phenomenal saves along the way.
As you mentioned, with this team, you have 2 star goalkeepers where either one can get the starting nod. We've seen Jill Lloyden getting her 3rd in the last 3 games.
Here's Nadim on the attack. Sends it through. Friels And it's grabbed by Kelsey Weiss, the third choice keeper on this Western New York squad. And when you lose the first two to an ACL tear for each of them, you end up finding yourself down a couple of national team quality keepers. And well, Kelsey Weiss, her only shutout this year is against Sky Blue. At times she's struggled, but at times she has looked very good. And she's a reason that this team has been able to tread water a little bit as they try and make it toward the playoffs.
And in women's soccer, it's always a shame when you see players go down with an ACL injury. Unfortunately, it's a very common injury. Sky Blue FC also having that with Haley Hagsma tearing her ACL in the first pregame season this year.
Taken away from Carly Lloyd. This is a familiar stomping ground for her. 4 Rutgers alums are on the 2 rosters combined, and Glenn Crooks will be on at the half. Certainly knows plenty about those players. He coached all 4. Falls to Nick in the middle of the field, being pushed by Lloyd, and leaves it back. Lloyd with the steal. Wambach running up the middle of the field, and this ball has a little too much strength. That's a combination we're going to be watching all game long. Carly Lloyd playing in a bit of a center attacking mid role with Wambach over the top. Zerboni's pass to the right wing is cut out, but a foul behind, and so advantage was played. Advantage is now turned to a foul.
Yeah, Friel's there just a little late on that foul, and she didn't agree with it, but the referee decided otherwise, and our head referee tonight, Josh Wilkins, we've seen him several times, I think, on this field throughout the season, as this could potentially be the final game for Sky Blue FC here at Yurcak Field. The only game still waiting, if it does get rescheduled, would be the Houston Dash, which was postponed due to the inclement weather on July 2nd, for those of you who joined us for those 4 hours of the delay.
It was a long 4 hours at that. Williamson was able to take it away from Nadim, who has played well in her first couple of games in the States. Lost for Wambach, and out wide for Kerr, who's held much of the scoring load for Western New York. Works in on Levin. Sends the cross, and Levin the sliding challenge to keep it out, but it's a corner coming up. First corner of the game for either side belongs to Western New York.
And right now you say Samantha Kerr and Carly Lloyd both have 7 goals this season for the squad, co-leading. And you look at Abby Wambach, though, she had 6 games with just 475 minutes and scored 4 goals and added an assist. So the Flash are happy that Wambach has finally recovered and able to join the lineup again.
Wambach is on the back post, rushing to the top of the 6. Here's the cross. Headed along, punched out by Lloyden. Still in danger. Taken in the middle of the field and kicked away from Zerboni. A shot is blocked away by Williamson. And outside it goes. Taylor. And Ford forces the goal kick, but a lot of trouble there off that first corner kick, but no goal to show for it for the Flash.
And it helps with Lloyden having the familiarity with Wambach. You saw on that play, she came out just in time to punch it before Wambach could get a nice flick behind to put it in the net.
Jill Lloyden making her 13th start of the year. One of 2 keepers that have seen significant time. Brittany Cameron also in the starting rotation quite a bit this year. Hayes pulled down, but Nadim latches on. O'Hara riding up the back post. Sent across for O'Hara. She leaves it by, and it is kicked out on the goal line, extended, and stolen right back for Sky Blue. Friel's the turn, but taken by Kerr, who had backtracked all the way into her own box. Lloyd continues to chase. Here's Sophie Schmidt, who's moved further back in the last couple of games into a more defensive role after starting the season further up. Give and go for Ford, who's taken down. Foul given. This is about 40 yards away from net.
Friel's there, I think, wanting to have that advantage. She did manage to turn, but the foul is called in a very dangerous position now. As Christy Rampone, we've seen several times throughout the season, play a beautiful ball into the box for either Kelly O'Hara or someone to be able to put a shot on target.
Rampone, a pair of assists this year, a goal as well. We'll see what she decides to do from very long distance. Strikes to the middle of the box, and it's easily knotted away by Wambach. Here's Hayes on the right flank, the Penn State product. And deflected off Kerr, and it stays in. Ford. Some room now. Couple touches, strikes for goal. And over the top, it was Friels who was available there.
Friels there on that shot, leaning too far back. Right when you saw she released it, you knew it was going to go too high. But there's Caitlin Ford and Samantha Kerr. You saw initially Kerr started on the right, and now we're starting to see her go to the left side. Whenever Sky Blue and the Flash matchup, you will see a Ford versus Kerr, Aussie versus Aussie matchup. So keep an eye on that throughout the game.
Kick back, Bermudez continues to chase the Spaniard. And it goes out. O'Hara last to touch it. Throw coming up for Western New York as they try and get it going left to right. Taken now by Lloyd and Sky Blues. Last game a 2-1 defeat at the hands of Kansas City, which, to be fair, is a much better result than they had when they were here a few weeks ago against the same KC squad. Here's Ford on the long run. Looks to get around Palmer, who's inserted into the lineup here today. And now Schmidt backtracking. Hayes with good speed, tries to get around Williamson, and a goal kick coming up.
Good pass from Sophie Schmidt, but that touch by Hayes, trying to get around Williamson, just too much as it rolls out of bounds. And still scoreless here, as this matchup, usually in the past you'll see Western New York tends to get on the board pretty early. So for Sky Blue FC, for them, the key is to try to make sure they don't give up that early goal.
Nadim picking pockets. Out wide, here's O'Hara, in on goal, and Weiss with the save and pulls in the rebound. And it did indeed make it over goal line extended. A corner kick coming up, but boy, what a save and a one-on-one.
Great slip from Friels. O'Hara's shot goes right to Weiss, though, as it goes to come up. Weiss gets her hand up to block it. Didn't able to make the save, so now a corner kick called for Sky Blue FC.
Here's Friels. Punched out by Weiss. Held by Rampone. She'll have another chance to serve it. Rising was Nadim. She tried for the near bicycle kick, my lord. Sky Blue again controls. Wires crossed looking for O'Hara. Here's Carly Lloyd. Nick sticks her foot in, keeps it away, but it's grabbed right back. And now Sky Blue brings it ahead.
And that's the physicality Sky Blue needs in that midfield, especially. Ashley Nick is a very strong and physical player. She needs to make sure to keep her feet or be able to use her body to push players like Carly Lloyd in the midfield off the ball and maintain possession.
Nick out of Southern California, 26 years old, and although she dealt with some concussion issues earlier this year, is strong in the air, a strong defensive player in the midfield for Sky Blue. It's grabbed here by Edmonds, a versatile player. Launched over the top, headed along further, and Rampone able to get it away from Kerr. That team leading 7 goals.
Runner, Caitlin, runner!
O'Hara's going to chase, but really nothing doing as Edmonds is going to leave it back for Weiss. Early in this game, we've seen Abby Wambach look like she's really at full strength. She's been able to run down everything front to back, up and down the field, no problems, and that's good news for someone coming off a lengthy time off due to injury.
Well, with an injury, anything with your knee, you always want to be cautious. Make sure you don't come back too early, the risk of possibly hurting another ligament in the knee. So for Abby Wambach, she feels comfortable, ready to go, and at this point, she's probably thinking, I need to start playing to help my team get into a playoff position.
Brittany Taylor into the middle and grabbed by Lloyden. One can only wonder what this Western New York team could have done to really add on to last year's NWSL Shield winning squad, but the loss of Abby Wambach certainly played a role in what may be an early exit from the season, may not even make the postseason. Sent across, touched a couple of times on the way in, and Kutschel will leave it for Lloyden.
The Flash have had quite a few injuries throughout the season. Another one happening last game. Reynolds now out with the ankle injury. I think they called it a high sprain ankle injury. So that's another hit where the Western New York Flash have to adjust accordingly.
Well, and she's only missed one game all year. It was due to a red card suspension, and she's got an option for next year in her contract. One would think she's going to return, but an injury will keep her out tonight. Lloyd touches it away, but Kutschel was not the last to touch it.
The best selfie taken during the first half today will win a Sophie Schmidt autographed jersey.
Headed along by Friels, taken by Nadim. O'Hara was aiming for Hayes. Salem in some trouble, but navigates it back.
And mention Sky Blue FC. The most entertaining selfie will be announced in the second half. Good luck.
A reminder that Sky Blue FC soccer presented by Meridian Health. Sky Blue in 7th place in the standings, a Western New York squad that has fared very well against Sky Blue over time. The only time that Sky Blue has beaten them, an own goal played a major role. Grabbed by 11.
They're way back in the 2013 inaugural season, home opener for Sky Blue FC.
Yeah, way back.
Way back when. Throwback Thursday right there for you. But that was the one Sky Blue FC win. It was an own goal, I believe, late in the first half. And Sky Blue FC was able to hold on for that win. And with these two teams, the matchup a lot better. Here's a beautiful through ball. O'Hara just not able to get there in time.
Weiss was aggressive enough to come out and grab it, and O'Hara laid back toward the end. And well, Kelly O'Hara has really upped her game in recent weeks, and certainly Nadia Nadim's playmaking ability has taken a little bit of the load off, but seems like everybody is playing better offensively. A team that was shut out 2 consecutive games and has turned around since then, 5 goals in their last 2.
I think watching Sky Blue FC this past month with the addition of Nadia Nadim, it's very clear that she has been the offensive spark for their squad. And a lot of players talk about just her attitude of always having a smile on her face and just having that positive energy has really uplifted this team. And the turnaround is obvious. Granted, they weren't able to get the win against FC Kansas City, but Nadia Nadim was the player that was able to put that spark back into the squad and the life back in when she scored in the 87th minute, taking advantage of a bad pass.
Nadim again, the target forward was facing Rampone, and her header is taken by Weiss.
Not get pulled apart, Blue.
Here's Brittany Taylor, who is the only player for Western New York to play in every game this year. Everybody else has either had an injury, call-up duty, or just merely a coach's decision. Here's Nadine, penetrating. Sends a through ball that's just touched away by Williamson on the way for Hayes.
Great slide by Williamson to stop that offensive attack. As if that had went through, I think Hayes had the advantage in the speed to at least get something on frame.
Find her, Ash, find her. She's going to drift back to you.
Palmer slows it down. Grabbed by Nadim. Here's Nick, Sky Blue with numbers as they start to push across midfield again. Nadim outside, and now Hayes with some real estate on the right wing.
Find her early, Ash. Find her early for the counter.
Hayes in on Palmer, but rejected. Palmer was invited to try out of San Diego State. Started all the scrimmages and really made a name for herself. Earned the spot at left back tonight due to the Reynolds injury. Played the entire second half, I should say, of the last game for Western New York.
Great food, great atmosphere, and professional friendly service located just minutes from Yurcak Field on Centennial Drive. It's the Olive Garden in Piscataway.
Wambach being swarmed tonight, that no exception. Here's Kutschel for Schmidt.
Good, Sophie. Make her work. Keep getting it, Soph. Patience.
Over the top of everybody, Weiss grabs it, and well, it seems things have slowed to a bit of a snail's pace now. Kutschel again the steal, and Friels leaves it for Nadim, who is able to stay on side, but the back pass is a poor one. Here's Nadim around the keeper. She's brought down, and there is no whistle. Unbelievable. It was right on the edge of the 18. It looks like Nadim just went down to the turf on her own, apparently.
Well, the referee says that was no foul. There have to be maybe a rebid to get a better angle on the field to see there, but initially it looked like Nadim had that pass intercepted and had Weiss beat, and Weiss could have grabbed her, but at this point the referee says otherwise, so play continues.
Another pass intercepted off the foot of Wambach, who is returning for her first game since May. Here's 11 for O'Hara. Works in on Kerr. And back for Kutschel once again.
Follow @NikeSoccer on Twitter or visit NikeSoccer.com for all the latest news.
It's tough to say without a great replay whether or not that truly was a foul. From this angle, it looked like she may have had her feet swiped right out from under her, but Nadim did go down. She didn't get a shot off, and while Sky Blue looks to keep it going here as Friels sends it across and Palmer kicks it out.
It's one of those where if you're watching at home, you're probably dragging the cursor back over and over to see if you can get a good look at that. But regardless, you kind of have to go to the referee's call, and there's a call there as Sophie Schmidt will get the free kick advantage, and Sky Blue on the attack.
Now Wambach with a hard tackle. Certainly not afraid to be physical herself either. Here's Rampone. Turning Zerboni. And here's Taylor, who committed that egregious back pass just a couple minutes ago, and her long ball is right at Jill Lloyden.
Behind you, Cammy.
With a match like this, you're seeing now the Flash just kind of sitting in, waiting for Sky Blue to get more into the midline before they even apply the pressure. And on the opposite side, Sky Blue really has to focus on making sure they can maintain the possession and work on the buildup. It's something they've been working on since they had that bye week, transitioning from midfield into the attack.
And the midfielder tries to get it into the attack, but Schmidt's pass is deflected away. A reminder that Avis is the official rental car provider to Sky Blue FC, and that means when you come to Sky Blue games, the fan guide has a special offer just for Sky Blue FC fans. From Avis, the official rental car provider to Sky Blue FC.
Including tuition assistance. That's guardsoccer.com.
The foul is apparently going Sky Blue's direction as Wambach flew into Schmidt. And Wambach is worse for the wear.
The referee is telling her to just kind of get up and continue play, and now she's going to argue her case.
Here's Rampone. Here's Nick a header. A one-hopper right at Weiss.
Back in, Ash, back in, face it back in.
That one, it looked like Nick was still backtracking as she went to head it and really just bounced right into Weiss on that play. And now she's going to settle down her team and try to play the long ball over the top to use Wambach's head to her advantage.
Nick chests it down and continues to get pressured from behind before Lloyden clears it out of danger.
Up, Lindsay.
But taken right back upfield by Zerboni. Kutschel, the steal.
Come on, Maya, be ready.
Palmer.
Head
And now Nick once again just glancing off the head of O'Hara. Now Edmonds. Weiss has to put that in the bleachers, and well, you give Nadim and O'Hara credit. They forced this upcoming Sky Blue throw-in.
I mean, both players are putting a lot of pressure on Weiss, trying to force that mistake with a player that hasn't had as much goalkeeping experience in the NWSL as the predecessors before they went down with injuries. They both know they want to force that more rookie-type mistake.
Oh, well, this is a yellow card for Nadim, her second of the year in 4 games. It was a hard tackle. Some of the Sky Blue fans in attendance don't seem to agree with the call, Danielle.
Well, I think a lot of them are still thinking of that questionable no call earlier when she was taking advantage of a bad pass back to Weiss. Let's get a look at the replay here as Lloyd motioning for a player to attack, and there goes Nadine knocking her down from behind. As the referee angle, it would be a yellow.
So Brittany Taylor off the yellow card. Headed by Kutschel. And outside for Hayes, and Kutschel was marking Wambach the entire way and actually out-jumped her for that ball.
And Kutschel does have the height advantage of this back line. Her and Goodson both being 2 of the taller players on this team. In a matter of who can be more physical and try to match Abby Wambach's physicality.
Wambach gives chase, and it's kicked away.
You mentioned yellow cards too. Caitlin Ford is a player that has to be careful of not getting another yellow card. She has 4 total this year, 1 more, and she'll have to have a game suspension.
Angela Salem is in the same spot. So is Carly Lloyd. They all have 4 yellow cards. The 5th is a 1-game suspension. Brought ahead, Zerboni. Another Sky Blue defensive play, a through ball with not enough pace to get it upfield and find Nadim, who was streaking up all alone.
Higher, tight to her, Nadia.
Right now, very good crowd on hand tonight as it is New Jersey Youth Soccer Night here, and all New Jersey Youth Soccer members having a lot of perks for this match, and you can see that the turnout's been huge, and there's also going to be a halftime interview with Executive Director Evan Dabby, which will take place after a bit of the halftime analysis with Tom Kolker and Glenn Crooks.
So you have that to look forward to at the half, and of course, it's going to be another 20 minutes till we get there as these teams remain scoreless, both with a couple of early chances, but nothing to show for it just yet. Here's Salem. Lloyd's pass deflected. Here's Nick. Being pushed by Lloyd from behind, and the foul is given. And the card's coming out. It's a yellow to Lloyd. She will be suspended for the next match, her 5th of the year.
Lloyd not happy, but on that play, now, as you mentioned, she will have to be suspended for the next match.
Well, this is a tremendous disappointment for Western New York. Lloyd will have to make the best of it as she moves forward here.
Here's a replay there. You see the push in the back, and the extension there is really, I think, why our head referee tonight, Josh Wilkins, decided to give the yellow on that play.
Second ball, rebound.
So Rampone will look for the cross into the box on this try. Aim towards the back post. Nodded away. Kicked outside by Hayes. Here's O'Hara. Off target. 27th minute. No score.
Last time O'Hara was on the Yurcak field pitch, she scored 2 goals and 2 assists, was involved in every single goal scored by Sky Blue FC against the Washington Spirit. You see she's already been taking a couple shots here and there, and I'm sure for her would want to end her potential final game of the season at home on a high note, being able to help lift her team to victory.
Nice extra touch by Nadim to give it to Schmidt. Headed down by O'Hara and kicked away. Edmonds was able to get it toward midfield, but Sky Blue continues to possess the ball fairly well early here. Lloyd coming up from behind on Rampone and gets cleated. That was on the leg. And Lloyd will need to be careful the rest of this game. That was a fairly dangerous foul on her part. Already playing with a caution.
You see Christie holding on to that left side, limping a little bit. You saw she may have looked like she grabbed her knee a little bit. That could be dangerous. We'll see if she'll be able to shake it off. As we see now, she's struggling to walk it off.
Really laboring at this point.
One of the 3 targeted players.
You would certainly know there's no ill will there to U.S. national team players, both with long careers in Lloyd and Rampone. Here's Levin for Schmidt. Leaves it in the middle of the field, and it's just off the toe of Nadim. Wasn't able to redirect it.
Nadim, they're putting her hand up, motioning for the nice pass by Sophie Schmidt. Just Nadim looked maybe to slip right at the end before getting her footing, but Sophie Schmidt reading that seam, and if Nadim had gotten a foot on that, that could have been very dangerous.
Foul given. Friels went down in a heap, and a quick restart to get things going.
We mentioned it in the pregame. It was going to be a very physical match. We've already seen 2 yellow cards before we've hit the 30-minute mark, and we'll see how the rest of the game will continue with Josh Wilkins trying to control this match.
A very high line for Western New York. All within about 15 yards of midfield. They do not want to see either O'Hara, Nadim, even Friels or Hayes get openings. Cutchell the long ball. On the money, Levin kicked away by Edmonds. Edmonds' clearance was deflected first time. Second time it falls to Schmidt. Nadim back for Ford. And it slid out of the way. Palmer with an impressive play from left back.
Ford a little slow to get up, but that was a great tackle to stop Ford from getting into the box.
Hey! Knock it out!
Slid outside. Ford is back on her feet and back on side, but it's taken by Palmer.
Delay it.
Lloyd dishes.
Galen, you gotta get back to
The
your
give and go doesn't quite work out as Bermudez is tracking all the way back. Falls for Nadim. Touched away. O'Hara tries to latch on, but now taken ahead by Edmonds and brought further by Zerboni. That did indeed get out. It'll be a throw coming up. For this Western New York team, they won the NWSL Shield. Most points on the regular season table last year. Seattle just won it in 20 games this year after what is easily the best regular season performance in the NWSL's short 2-year history. Over the top for O'Hara and kicked out for an impending corner kick. Kristen Edmonds decided to kick it over the goal line, not deal with any issues.
We'll see Katie Friels will be the one to take the corner kick for Sky Blue FC. We'll see if maybe Sophie Schmidt or Ashley Nick will be able to put something on it, at least give a scoring opportunity for the squad.
So Friels backpedals. Nick is on the goal line. Schmidt is racing toward it. This is aimed at Schmidt. Gets over her. Nadim strikes. It's wide left. Held here by Schmidt. Outside for Friels again. Friels sent across. Back post over the top. Just got over Weiss, who was trying to tip it away and went wide right of the post.
What a bender by Friels, but just not enough as it went wide right over Weiss. Another dangerous opportunity for Sky Blue FC. Right now, they've had the advantage in scoring opportunities in this game, and for them, it's about trying to continue to build on this momentum before trying to get something in the back of the net, hopefully taking a lead into the locker room.
Edmonds, Bermudez on the run up the right touchline. Gets around Levin. Sends in a cross. Nodded away by Rampone. Near foul, Salem back up. Here's Bermudez. Looks for the cross again. Taken by Nick. Zerboni now. And Western New York will reset the offense after initially getting a good push ahead. Everybody across midfield now in the 33rd minute of a scoreless match, where truly 3 points is all that matters to these teams. A draw really doesn't do you much when you're this far into the season. Sky Blue is 5 points behind Western New York in the standings, but have a game in hand. Sent through for Nadim, but held again by Williamson, who has been tremendous tonight at left center back.
Agreed. Williamson has thwarted many Sky Blue attacks and really has been the key defensive player for the Flash so far.
Sliding tackle from Friels comes up empty. Up the left side, Palmer. And the fullback run is not nearly strong enough to get to that ball. Here's Rampone. For Western New York, their 3-game winless streak is their longest since May. Abby Wambach back into the lineup for the first time since May. That may be the spark plug they need to make a run down the stretch. 12 points is all that's left for them to get, and even then it may not be enough, according to their head coach Aaron Lyons in his 6th season. Here's Levin operating in space. Schmidt leaves it. Oh, this is O'Hara able to get around one, looks to strike, leaves it through. Oh, here's some chances now for Hayes. It's blocked. Palmer able to get in the way.
Great recovery by Palmer. She almost gave Maya Hayes a shot on goal, but great defensive recovery, and now being able to allow her team to get back for the throw-in.
Hayes had to work back to that as well, which made it more difficult. Here's Schmidt from long distance, and rising again with that right foot was Nadim, not able to touch it past Weiss. O'Hara continues to hold it in on the line, and a throw-in given, and O'Hara tosses it away. One would think she was looking for a foul, being pushed in the back as she was down on one knee.
It's going to be a physical battle all game. It's just a matter of can Sky Blue FC come up to the challenge, be able to give it right back, and not lose their cool, as some would say.
Kutschel for Hayes. Hayes circles around Palmer, into the box. Sends it by, and sends it right.
We saw Maya Hayes get back into the starting lineup against Washington, and the combination of her, Kelly O'Hara, and Nadia Nadim have been very powerful. You didn't see as much of it in the Kansas City game due to them not really getting the ball, as a lot of the possession was held by Kansas City in the midfield. But tonight, Maya Hayes is getting a lot of looks down that right flank, and it could be just a matter of time before she may get a chance to put one away.
And Glenn Crooks being honored a little bit over the PA. The women's soccer coach at Rutgers, announcing his retirement after nearly 2 decades of service in Division I college soccer. 4 of his players are on the field, and all 4 of them are earning some good looks, whether it's on the national team or at the club level here in the NWSL. So congratulations, Glenn, on his retirement. He'll be on at the half.
Glenn Crook's 14 years with the Scarlet Knights, and we see Carly Lloyd now on the field, and Janelle Foligno for Sky Blue FC beating Carly Lloyd's record this past season for the game-winning goal record, as she extended that to 17.
You look at what he's done for this Rutgers program over the years, and Glenn Crooks turned them from a program that was kind of in the middle to a team that was competing in the Big East and now in the Big Ten in their first season there. Here's Levin, grabbed by O'Hara. In on Edmonds, leaves it. Friels turns, tries to send a low cross in, back for Levin. One touch, fires it toward the net, and it's right into the chest of Weiss.
Levin able to create the space for her to get the shot, but going right to Weiss, not really having to do much to make that save.
And that's one of the things that maybe a lot of people don't realize about Cammie Levin is she's got a very impressive right foot. She's done that a couple times where she's found room 20, 25 yards out and can put a ball on net consistently.
It also makes her dangerous at the left back position, as she's able to get into the attack, and with that powerful strike, she gets a lot of nice feeds into the box.
And here's a nice ball played through for Nadine. Cuts into the 18, sends the low cross, and it gets by a sliding Hayes. Schmidt trying to keep it alive. Bermudez giving chase.
There's another example of Palmer being able to shield Maya Hayes out and not getting her to, or not allowing Hayes to get a foot on the ball.
Sent in again. Nadeem is there. Nadeem is off. "39th minute here in Piscataway as Western New York visiting for their only time this year against Sky Blue FC. They've played 1 game already this year. It was a 2-0 win in Rochester. They play again on ESPN2 coming up in a couple of weeks. A hard fall and a foul coming up. And another card, it would appear. Lloyd went down. And the card is issued. Goes to Cammie Levin.
You see a lot of the Sky Blue players now arguing the case, wondering where the yellow card is coming from. On that, Kelly Harris, Sophie Schmidt, both arguing that, and we've now seen 3 yellow cards in this match, and we haven't even reached halftime yet.
Speaking of, that's her 3rd yellow card of the season as well, so not nearly on the edge of that suspension, but is working her way there. This is a dangerous spot for a Western New York team that has a lot of options off set pieces.
You got Carly Lloyd, Abby Wambach, Taylor's in there. You've got a lot of strong players in the air in the box, and also Sam Kerr being another threat.
Sonia Bermudez.
Concentrate! Foul on the red!
Hit by Wambach, still loose. Cut to the middle, and Rampone kicks it away. It is a corner, another set piece opportunity for Western New York.
Cutshall was the initial player there who got a couple blocks trying to clear it out, just unable to do it. Rampone coming to save the day, but now there's a corner kick where there's another opportunity for the Flash to get an advantage or put it one way on a set piece.
It's Bermudez again. Wambach rises, and it goes wide.
Western New York looking dangerous. Those set pieces are, for them, it's a huge advantage, an opportunity for them to put one away, and they love getting those opportunities. And with Sky Blue FC, they have to be careful to not commit fouls in that offensive third, and also try not to give up any corner kicks.
Cutshall, the header that finds O'Hara. Deflection falls to Nadeem. Held away from Edmonds. Sounds like the Rutgers football team has just made their way into the stadium next door. There's a lot of marching band music I'm hearing right now. Here's Hayes marching in. Hayes sends a sliding ball in that didn't nearly have enough pace. Nice first move, but unable to get it past Weiss.
Once again, it was Williamson that was able to track back and put the pressure on Maya Hayes. Hayes cutting back to her right foot, trying to slip it to her streaking Kelly O'Hara, just unable to put it on the foot of O'Hara, instead going to Weiss.
Sent along for Ashley Nick. And grabbed by Carly Lloyd. Wambach gives it back. Lloyd in transition. Sends it up the right side. Kerr really never thought she was onside. Kept looking at the assistant referee, and eventually the ball finds Lloyden.
It's one of those things as a player where you wonder, are they going to put the flag up if I go for it? Did they not put the flag up? Does that mean I'm on? So that slight hesitation there, deciding to play it safe and just hold it back and apply the pressure defensively.
Schmidt, a really good ball for Ford. If she can hold it in, she can. Works in on Palmer. Cuts upfield. Slides it back. Schmidt, the strike, and it's deflected. Zerboni with the deflection. Here's Levin. Sends a curving ball toward the back post. It's knotted inside off the chest of Salem and grabbed by Weiss.
It's like Salem almost carried it with her chest into Weiss's hands. But great effort from O'Hara to try to keep that ball alive with that goal line touch.
Rampone being chased by Kerr. Has the potential to be one of the best forwards in the world, according to Aaron Lyons. And when she came to this Western New York squad, a lot of raw talent, but she's really developed that talent. 7 goals in 16 starts this year out of Australia. Just 20 years old and only 8 years playing soccer, so a lot of room for her to continue to grow.
And just watching her from when she was first in the with the National Women's Soccer League last year with the Flash till now, you can see that growth. And if she continues to keep doing what she's doing with the Flash, and
Wambach the diving header, and off the Bermudez service, serves it over the bar.
long story short, Kerr can be very good, and she is very good. She's going to keep getting better, so she's one of those players you're going to watch out for.
Speaking of someone who is very good, Abby Wambach there is vintage in that effort.
It's one of those where if it went in, you'd be calling ESPN back up saying, hey, we should put this on the top 10. We've seen one goal already this season, Lauren Holiday with the Olympico goal all the way back on July 6th, making the top 10 at number 3. But you never know with this, and with the coverage from ESPN throughout the season, as you've seen last night, the Houston Dash and Seattle Reign FC being on ESPN3, and Sky Blue FC getting a couple ESPN games coming up. You already mentioned this matchup appearing on August 13th when they play at Sand Stadium, and Sky Blue FC will also be on ESPN3 when they play the Houston Dash again.
Couple of nice moves through. Salem fires and leaves it way too high. And maybe the interesting thing is, I believe Devanna's bicycle kick last year happened in more or less the same area as Lauren Holiday's Olympico goal, and nearly the same spot as what could have been a remarkably impressive goal from Abby Wambach. Long story short, that seems to be a pretty lucky part of the pitch for the NWSL when it comes to creating highlights.
It is a very special goal, it seems to be, and we saw Nadia Nadim score her first NWSL goal in that direction, like when we saw that against the Spirit on the 20th.
Brought ahead by Zerboni.
Concentrate! Cover!
Outside, Lloyd. Here's Wambach. And grabbed by Lloyden. Wambach continues to stay down, but she is a menace in the air. The halftime show will be coming up in a moment, and a reminder that the halftime show presented by Meridian Health. Glenn Crooks, the recently retired former head coach for Rutgers, will help break it down with Tom Kolker, as an offside flag is already up against Bermudez, who made a run down the left side, and one would think that should do it for the half. There's only 1 minute of stoppage. Lloyden continues to walk it forward, and we'll be watching the center official here for that final whistle of the opening half.
Well, I think right now both squads would be happy going in with a tie into the locker room. They don't want to give up a late first half goal.
And now the whistle goes after it was touched ahead by Friels, and that's the first half. 45 minutes played, and Western New York and Sky Blue FC unable to be separated thus far at the half. Sky Blue 0, Western New York 0. And Danielle Diavanzo with myself, Mike Watts. Danielle, your main takeaways from that first half?
It's going to be a physical battle of the second half. It's a matter of who's going to be able to come out second half and keep their composure. Both teams getting good looks on net. It's a matter of who's going to strike first. Sky Blue FC, I'm sure, is happy with the fact that they have not given up a goal yet to the Western New York Flash. Is it now, are they going to maintain that focus? We've seen a couple times they play great, and then that one mental lapse gets them. So they need to make sure they contain it. Western New York, on the other hand, need to make sure they do not allow the offensive attack and the speed from Sky Blue FC. They got to compose it, win more balls in the midfield, and get into the attack.
3 yellow cards, no goals, and we enter the half scoreless between Sky Blue and Western New York. Tom Kolker and Glenn Crooks break it down for you in the Sky Blue FC halftime report presented by Meridian Health after this timeout.
You get the look. You get the leash. You get out the door. You get sudden numbness and a severe headache, signs of stroke. So you get help. You get to a Meridian emergency room. You get treatment found only in primary stroke centers to stop stroke in its tracks. You get better. And back to your best friends. Learn more at meridianneuroscience.com.
The Soccer for Success program is an innovative after-school program that uses soccer as a tool for social change, specifically to fight childhood obesity.
We're funding ongoing programming for these children after school hours. After school hours for children are the most dangerous time for children in this country. We're filling that gap with a positive program that has health benefits, social benefits, and it's just plain fun.
All right, just give me 1 minute here. We'll get.
We're not in there.
All right, whenever you guys are ready, we're good.
Ladies and gentlemen, we direct your attention to midfield as we welcome
Halftime here at Yurcak Field. Tom Kolker, Glenn Crooks with you. No score. A lot of action, Glenn, in that first half. It started out with Sky Blue FC really applying a lot of pressure and a couple great chances for a goal. Kelly O'Hara had a really good point-blank chance, but then late in that first half, you saw Western New York and Abby Wambach with a couple chances, off set pieces, almost get that first goal of the game.
Well, Abby's been out for a while, but the one thing that she's always going to add is the air game, and if service is not denied and she's allowed to not run free in there but get above the defenders, her head ball accuracy over the years, so many of her goals scored internationally and nationally have been in the air, and she came very close, especially on that one she sprawled out on. She was very frustrated. She thought for sure she should have had that one. Those were the best chances for Western New York, and then Sky Blue, and you can see why Western New York has struggled at times this year. They're not particularly organized defensively, at least not tonight, and so Sky Blue has gotten in sometimes with great effectiveness and sometimes just with a lot of unbalancing in the back of the Western New York line.
And for Western New York, they're only 6 points out of that last playoff spot coming into tonight, so they certainly have a lot to play for. Meanwhile, you can kind of say that Sky Blue may be playing the spoiler alert, but it really looked like Sky Blue, at least in the first 20 minutes, was the much more organized team with a plan out there on the field.
Well, one of the nice things tonight, this is probably the biggest crowd of the year here at Yurcak Field for Sky Blue. So I think there's a bit of added energy. Abby Wambach draws them, Carly Lloyd draws them, and you couple that with the fact that it's opening day for the Rutgers University football team. This is their first day to report, so they're having a lot of festivities, and there are a lot of fans out for that. So just all around the stadium, with the football stadium just behind us, it's rather electric, and I think Sky Blue has responded to that.
You can see them really early on trying to push the ball out wide, make a lot of overlapping runs, and that's where they had a lot of success getting the ball in the middle, and then they would find Hayes, maybe O'Hara. That's really was the key to them applying that pressure in the first half.
I think what Sky Blue is doing effectively, and it is part of their attacking mentality and philosophy, is to get the ball wide and get overloads, and the people who create the overloads are the wingers and then the fullbacks who are coming up and staying connected and have the ability to get around or at least support the attack. So that's where they've had their greatest success. And again, Nadia Nadim in the middle, she just knows how to keep it, knows how to move off the ball, and so they've had a number of chances, and the front line has been very dangerous. Hayes, Nadia Nadim, and
Sophie
and
Schmidt come
O'Hara.
up. Yeah,
Forgot
come
about
up as
O'Hara,
well.
who had the best chance of the half, really.
Right there. For this Western New York team, you saw them finally get the ball in the middle to Wambach a little bit. You see them doing that more in the second half, or really trying to maybe just increase the tempo a little bit?
Well, I think, yeah, because through the midfield there wasn't a whole lot of rhythm. To be honest, I watched them play in this half, and I don't have a particular idea of what their plan is on the attacking side. So when they win the ball, are they looking for particular people? It doesn't appear that way, although they like to play it through Carly in the middle, and then obviously get Abby involved up front. But you're right, there were numerous opportunities at the end. It came off of service that was not denied, so that came from the flank, and if Abby Wambach is free in the box, they're going to get one before long.
It is New Jersey Youth Soccer Night here tonight. You've certainly had a major impact on youth soccer in the New Jersey area. Congratulations to you. For those who know, Glenn Cook's just retired. 14 years as head coach here at the University of Rutgers, and 22 years as a head coach. You're going to stay involved with the program and broadcasting, but I guess first of all, congratulations to you, Glenn. That's a heck of a run.
Well, it's great for myself and my family. It was time, and beyond that, my close friend and associate for 14 years, Michael O'Neill, gets the head job. Megan Ryan, who played for me for 5 years and now is entering her 7th year on the coaching staff, is now the associate head coach. So to me, it's worked out perfectly for myself and for the program. It'll be a seamless transition. And yeah, and I've been an ODP coach in New Jersey with the Olympic Development Program for years, currently with the U15s over the last several years. So I saw Rick Miana, and you're going to be interviewing a gentleman who you'll introduce in a moment, the new president of New Jersey Youth Soccer. Rick is the director of coaching. So it's again, it's really been a great night.
Well, no score here at halftime. We're going to take a short break. When we come back, Evan Dabby, the new executive director of New Jersey Youth Soccer, will join us. Halftime here at Yurcak Field. No score between Sky Blue FC and Western New York. Back after this short timeout.
You get the look. You get the leash. You get out the door. You get sudden numbness and a severe headache. Signs of stroke. So you get help. You get to a Meridian emergency room. You get treatment found only in primary stroke centers to stop stroke in its tracks. You get better. And back to your best friends. Learn more at meridianneuroscience.com.
The Soccer for Success program is an innovative after-school program that uses soccer as a tool for social change, specifically to fight childhood obesity.
We're funding ongoing programming for these children after school hours. After school hours for children are the most dangerous time for children in this country. We're filling that gap with a positive program that has health benefits, social benefits, and it's just plain fun.
Welcome back, everybody. Halftime here at Yurcak Field. No score between Western New York and Sky Blue FC. We mentioned it is Youth Soccer Night, New Jersey Youth Soccer Night, and joining us now is Evan Dabby, the new executive director of the youth soccer program. Evan, thanks for taking time to join us.
Thanks for having me.
Well, you're fairly new to the position. It's a huge turnout here tonight, so it's great to see a big crowd for the last home game. And I guess let's start talking about your new roles as executive director. And one of the great things is getting these youth clubs out to see some of the Sky Blue games and some of the bigger games. Talk about your new role, and first of all, how long have you been with the organization?
Whopping 6 months or so, it's still fresh, but like you said, it's great. There's hundreds of kids from programs throughout the state here tonight. Great response, and Sky Blue has been a great partner for us, so they've really done well at New Jersey Youth Soccer Night here at Sky Blue.
Well, we'll talk about your background a little bit. 16 years at MLS, but more importantly, from right here in New Jersey, played your soccer right here, grew up in the area. Talk about your, playing soccer growing up here in the area, and then a little bit of your time at MLS.
Yeah, it's kind of come full circle. So grew up in Bergen County, Tenafly, New Jersey, and played throughout high school, and just great memories doing that. Finally got away, New Jersey for 4 years, where I played at school, at college at Tufts, and then came back right into the area with 16 years of Major League Soccer, and that was an incredible experience. Great friends, great memories, and part of some real growth on that level. And when this opportunity came along, felt really lucky that was given the opportunity. So it's 6 months in, learning a lot. Really grateful for the board that we have. We have a board of directors that have countless years of experience leading us and making us better each and every day.
I was reading through a little bit of your bio, and one of the things I saw when you first joined MLS, there were 12 teams, now there's 19. So expansion was huge, while you were a part of that group.
Yeah.
Obviously now taking on this program, I think one of the things that stand out is the number of people involved. 40,000 coaches, over 150,000 players, but the program's always looking to expand. What were some of the keys to the MLS success, and how can you kind of transfer that to what you're doing here for New Jersey Youth Soccer?
Good question. Commissioner Garber was, and others in executive roles were always clear. It's a grind. It's a lot of work, and I don't think it's any different for us. Between the office staff, the tens of thousands of volunteers that give their time to help build it in their local communities, and I think we're in the same place. At the state office, we just need to find ways to support them, listen to them, help deliver programs that they can really benefit from. We have the Olympic Development Program, our tryouts this weekend. That's an avenue for people to be night recognized, and much like some of the players we see here out in the field, to be on TV and represent us on the World Cup level. We have our travel and recreation, a culmination at our State Cup, which leads to national, regionals, and nationals. That was 2 weeks ago, and we had two of our teams in New Jersey, Match Fit and PDA, compete and bring home some hardware from Maryland, so that was really fantastic. And then some special programs like Top Soccer, an outreach program that's in more than 20 areas throughout the state, really focused on servicing the children with special needs. A really great program.
Well, for those parents in the area or in the state, Evan's going to be right in the middle. So you're not going to travel too far from wherever you are. Tell everybody where the offices are located.
Yeah, we're located in East Windsor, right smack dab in the middle of the state, so accessible. We have parents, volunteers, coaches stop in and get their passes, and that's what's really nice. You're really developing those relationships and on a one-to-one level, and it's been an exciting 6 months.
Well, weather this season for Sky Blue has been a little bit of an issue, but tonight I don't know if it gets any better than this. Perfect night here at Rutgers. No score here at the halftime. Evan, thank you for taking a few minutes to join us. Good luck in your new adventure and taking over this program, and we wish you the best.
Yeah, we look forward to coming back and supporting Sky Blue again, and a great night.
Evan Dabby is the new executive director of New Jersey Youth Soccer. We'll take a short timeout. No score here between Sky Blue FC and Westwood, New York at the half. Second half on the other side of this timeout. We're watching Sky Blue FC Soccer here on YouTube. Back after this short break.
You get
Cool.
the look.
Good stuff.
You get the leash. You get You get sudden numbness and a severe headache. Signs of stroke. So you get help. You get to a Meridian emergency room. You get treatment found only in primary stroke centers to stop stroke in its tracks. You get better. And back to your best friends. Learn more at meridianneuroscience.com.
The Soccer for Success program is an innovative after-school program that uses soccer as a tool for social change, specifically to fight childhood obesity.
We're funding ongoing programming for these children after school hours. After school hours for children are the most dangerous time for children in this country. We're filling that gap with a positive program that has health benefits, social benefits, and it's just plain fun.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Sky Blue FC Soccer on the NWSL Soccer YouTube channel. We are scoreless at the half as Western New York Flash visiting Sky Blue FC for the only time this year, the second of 3 meetings between the two teams overall. With Danielle Diavanzo, I'm Mike Watts. Thanks for checking back in with us here for the second half. And, well, this is going to be an interesting half. We've seen a lot of physical play already, Danielle, and, well, one would hope a goal could come with that at some point.
I think the first half, the advantage goes to Sky Blue FC. They had more looks that were dangerous. You saw at the end, Western New York Flash getting a couple, finally finding Abby Wambach in the box. She had a couple of headers that were close. But here's the Flash coming out strong with the ball first, Kerr down the right. But we'll see who will come out stronger in the second half. And for Sky Blue FC, will they be able to keep up playing this physical game and not let the Flash's physicality get to them?
Red jerseys, red shorts with white and gold trim for the Western New York Flash as they'll move right to left on your dial. Here's Kerr. Her pass is cut out by Kutschel, and the long-distance shot is also taken away. First time we've really seen Salem line up for a long-distance try here today. Here's Edmonds up the right wing. The cross, and it's knocked away by Kutschel, who's able to stick her foot out and keep the ball away from Lloyden. Salem here again, and right off the bat, they aim for Wambach, and her pass is taken away again by Kutschel, who's been the real focal point for Sky Blue defensively early in this half.
We're seeing right at the start, got a couple blocks, and on that last play, though, you wonder if that was the right move in trying to get that block when it looked like Lloyden was going to come out and grab it. A little bit of a miscommunication there, but still, Kutschel was able to recover on the second one and be able to clear it out, and now we have a player down early in the second half.
An injury on the field, but we do have a little bit of news about something we mentioned earlier on, and we may get an even better explanation about it later, but we mentioned Carly Lloyd got her 5th yellow card. We mentioned that she would be suspended for the next match, but Danielle, that's not actually the case.
There's an error there, as she will not be suspended as of yet because she was, by the NWSL disciplinary committee, announced that they had suspended her for an incident that occurred on April 19th, way back when she was having excessive force on an incident involving Chicago Red Stars midfielder Vanessa DiBernardo. So because of that, she already she already did the time for that penalty. So now she has 4 yellow cards. Another yellow card would then result in a suspension.
That's right. No double jeopardy in the NWSL legal system. It's taken by Schmidt as she brings it left to right. And thanks to the league office for reaching out and setting that straight. That's a huge thing for Western New York fans to know as they move forward in their late playoff push.
So thank you, Patrick, for all that you do in keeping me straight.
It's brought here in the middle. Still turning, O'Hara lines it right at Weiss.
We're seeing Sky Blue is able to create the space to get the shot off, but a lot of their shots have been going right to Weiss, excuse me.
And Weiss, we mentioned it earlier, the 3rd choice keeper for this squad. It was a bit of a happenstance that she got here, a couple of ACL tears to Western New York goalkeepers, and she has tried to steady the ship as best she could. Debuted back on the 11th of May against Sky Blue, earned her only shutout of the year. Played at Florida State where she went to 3 straight college cups, so she knows how to play under pressure. Here's a ball kicked wide right. She's brought ahead by Kerr.
You see the flashback line has been doing a really good job of not allowing the speed of Nadim, O'Hara, or Hayes to get at Weiss. A lot of it has to do with Williamson, who for the first half would be my defensive player of the half.
At least 2 or 3 chance-saving, if not goal-saving moves on her part. And the left center back, wearing the number 17, has done tremendous work for this Western New York Flash team here tonight. The one thing that we talked about a lot at the outset was Abby Wambach. She had a diving header opportunity earlier, was found in the 6-yard box again on a ball that was whipped through on a corner and touched to her. Not a ton of opportunities for her thus far. Here's Caitlin Ford. Nearly taken away, but Salem not able to touch it away far enough. Here's Levin. Outside, racing in, sent across. And O'Hara's ball is too strong. Grabbed by Hayes. Hayes the low cross. It's touched. Nadim back. Here's the shot, and it's roofed in. O'Hara gives Sky Blue a 1-0 lead in the 50th minute.
There's an example there. Hayes feeding it in. Nadia Nadim turns, lays it up to O'Hara. O'Hara with the bullet. It's now Sky Blue FC takes a 1-0 lead.
Kelly O'Hara's hot streak at Yurcak Field continues. Her 6th goal of the year and her 3rd in her last 2 games at Yurcak Field.
Sue O'Hara scored 3 goals in 3 games now. Nadia Nadim once again getting a point as she gets the assist. We've seen in the past 2 starts that Nadia Nadim has had. She's had 2 goals. So we'll see if that combination may come back later in the game and Nadim will be able to put another one away and add a goal on her stat sheet.
Here's Kerr. Leaves it to the middle and it's touched away. Here's a shot. It goes just wide left.
Western New York trying to do the quick counter, make it even once again, but that shot just going wide by Carly Lloyd.
You talk about players who have the ability to score from 30 yards on a one-time shot. Carly Lloyd is near the top of that list.
You do not want to give Carly Lloyd space within anywhere 30 yards because she has the accuracy and the strength to just punish you if you give her that opportunity.
Bermudez ahead for Wambach. Puts it down. Wambach from distance, the twisting shot is too far wide right. That was optimistic on her part and nearly twisted that into the corner.
It's a great turn, and the way that she hit it with her foot got that, you can say, curving spin. But you saw Lloyden was tracking it the whole time, so even if it did get close to net, I believe Lloyden would have been able to manage to get a handle on it.
Jill Lloyden, out of New Jersey, 28 years old, 3-time Defensive Player of the Year in her time at Villanova. Foul called against Nadim. Kutschel continues to be busy in the back. Sent for Ford, who chases it down. Gets by Bermudez, but not by Lloyd. Schmidt, a long ball up the left side, and Edmonds gets to it. O'Hara still chasing, and Weiss able to get it away. And you can tell Sky Blue is really chasing every ball that goes back to that goalkeeper, given her rookie status, and you wonder whether or not they'll be able to force another mistake like they did earlier on a back pass. Another foul here.
I'm wondering, it looked like he was going to reach for a card again, but now he may just be giving a warning to Zabroni.
Sky Blue wishes to thank the Atlantic Club in Wall Township for hosting our indoor training sessions. The Atlantic Club, more than
well, it seems to be a pleasant talk between the official and Zabroni, so they continue on. Rampone was cleated a bit on the leg earlier, but she's able to take this free kick. Knotted down. Sent out wide, it won't find Ford, and kicked upfield and out for a throw.
I'm sure Rampone will be enjoying her weekend off recovering from that clip. You saw she was kind of slow to get up, took a while to shake it off. I'm sure at halftime she received some treatment to be able to play for the rest of this 45 minutes, and plus, depending on how much added time we see.
Okay.
Wambach leaves it back. Lloyd brings it down. And the flag stays down. Bermudez to the middle of the field. Wambach in on goal and put it just wide right of Lloyden.
On that build-up, Kerr looked to be off, held her spot as Bermudez was the one that made up the left flank, played it into the box for Abby Wambach, splitting the defense, but just wide as Sky Blue FC escapes with that one.
Credit to the camera guy downstairs. That's a good view of that. And of course, he nearly got pelted with what looked like 200 tennis balls in the tennis ball toss at the half. He did a little leaping back and forth, was able to avoid most of them.
I think he was more interested in protecting the equipment that's down on the field than himself. but that's kind of a tradition for Sky Blue FC for fans that come to the game. There's always a tennis ball toss.
Bermudez looks like she's going to get a yellow for kicking the ball back and forward. They were jawing back and forth quite a bit. Bermudez, her second yellow of the year, fourth yellow issued in this game.
Again, Caitlin Ford has to be careful to not let any emotions rise. She has 4 yellow cards, does not want to put her team into a position of having to service a game suspension. Although Sky Blue FC does have a deep bench on the defense to fill the gap if need be, but for Ford, she really needs to be cautious now.
So Jill Lloyden on the restart. Nick with the active knee taken by Bermudez, kicked out by Hayes, and now Salem with the turnover, brought ahead by Friels. Her shot is just touched away by Weiss.
Great diving save by Weiss, getting down low just enough of her hand to deflect it out. But here's a replay now. As you see, Katie Friels takes advantage of that mistouch and takes the shot, bending over Weiss. Great save. And now here's the corner kick as Sky Blue FC will look to put 2 up on the board now.
Schmidt and Nick are 2 of the biggest targets. Kutschel as well. They're all in the middle of the 18. Friels the kick. Open is O'Hara. It bounces easily to Weiss, but a foul behind the play regardless. It wouldn't have counted.
Looks like that might be Abby Wambach down on the field as the whole Flash team is surrounding her. And that is Abby Wambach, who's now being helped out by her teammates.
Jeff DiVeronica, who's a columnist up in Rochester, wrote a really interesting piece about Wambach, essentially saying that this team needs a leader and she needs to be the one to step up. She's missed so much time with injury. She spent a fair amount of that time rehabbing it out in Portland where she makes her home. And, well, for Abby Wambach, she returns here after that left LCL injury, and she's trying to will this team back into the postseason, taking a couple knocks along the way. But when you talk about leadership, it's really hard to not think of Abby Wambach at the top of that list.
Tripped on the white line.
So there's a bit of an argument there. Maybe the referee thought he heard a player make a comment as the game was delayed, finally back into action, but Wambach is a leader. She's a very experienced player, is very good at just inspiring her teammates. You definitely need that, especially for a team right now where they're on the outside looking into the playoffs and they still are in the hunt. So for them, a win tonight would be huge. And Sky Blue FC on the flip side, at this point, they cannot afford another loss if they want any shot of making the playoffs.
Taken away by Zerboni. Over the top and cut out by Rampone. Not too much trouble for her. A sub will be coming on in just a moment, but it's Lloyd bringing it ahead. Her through ball, Wambach let it through. No one was on the other end. It's going to be Losada who's going to come on momentarily. At the half, Amy Barzik came on for this Western New York Flash squad, so they're making their second sub of the game. Barzik came on in defense. Sent through and grabbed by Weiss, who patrols the goal to our right. Lofted over again, and Kutschel there again. She's been busy in this half, but she's really stood up to the test every time.
For Kutschel, she's been on fire, and for the second half especially, been everywhere, clearing the ball out, doing whatever she needs to do to get her body on the ball and not allow the Flash to get a good look on frame. And Kutschel's really proving her point to get the start. Head coach Jim Guevara trusted her over Coco Goodson, who last year played every single minute. This year we've seen her starting to not get as much playing time, and Kutschel is proving that she deserves to be on this field tonight.
Angela Salem comes out, the first women's soccer player at Francis Marion University out in South Carolina to make it. Came on as a walk-on for Sky Blue back in 2010 and is from Copley, Ohio. She'll come out, and Losada comes on. She leads the league in assists with 6, tied with 4 others. She'll need at least a helper if her team wants to make it back into a tie game and potentially take 3 points on the road. Outside, Zerboni sends the long cross, punched out by Lloyden and kicked further by Nick.
Great 1-2, Lloyden punching it out, and Nick with the second clear to be able to get it down. As you see now, Kerr's down on the field in that collision between her and Lloyden.
And she's just trying to crawl away at this point. They'll kick it out, and now the focus is squarely on Kerr, and the first person to her aid is Caitlin Ford. And that's no surprise. They're both featured on a show, the Matildas, about their international play, and she'll get up slowly, both donning the number 4 for their clubs tonight. That punch from Lloyden may have been the thing that knocked her down, one would think.
You see she's really limping, favoring the one side. As she's struggling to make her way off the field now, as she's going to get checked out by the training staff. But as you said, Caitlin Ford, one of the first players to get to Kerr's side to check to see if she's okay, as the two of them teammates on the Australian national team and also teammates when they play abroad the W League.
You have a goal, and Whitecurt Realtors is hands down the best place to turn for the assist you need.
A couple of the young stars for Australia, and good camaraderie. Doesn't matter what jersey you're wearing tonight. She's going to be checked out. She's sitting next to Lloyden's goal, and so 10 players right now for Western New York. Through the legs of Wambach, and Kutschel back again, and now Ford is going to watch that sail upfield as she had set herself up out wide. Now she gets fed the ball. Hayes looks for the give and go on the overlap and leaves it too far ahead.
No surprise on that play. Williamson is the one that was able to track back and prevent the give and go from happening and giving Ford an opportunity down the right side. And it looks like Kerr has finally made her way back onto the field. As you see, she's still limping a little bit, favoring that one side. So we'll see how long she'll be able to just shake it off, or if she may need to be checked out as the final sub of this game for the Flash.
And that's the downside to using a sub in the halftime break, and again, about 5 minutes outside of it, you leave yourself one the rest of the way. Aaron Lyons choosing to go with fresher legs early in the game, trying to chase this game down. Through for Nadeem, and back pass to Weiss is cleared away as Brittany Taylor was on defense. Hayes once again. Kicked out this time by Losada. Vicky Losada, 3 goals, 6 assists this year. Her debut was a strong one, factored in on all 3 goals, scoring a pair of them in her debut, the start of the NWSL season. Won Player of the Week that first week. Announced her arrival with some gusto.
Good, Sophie, multiple touches.
Schmidt changes the point of attack. Here's O'Hara, streaking in. O'Hara strikes and puts it over. Dangerous from all over the field. This time was a little bit too far under it.
Like you said, a little bit too much. She was a little bit, looked at that point, looking up still as she took that shot, not getting an opportunity for her body to get back over the ball. And in that situation, too, you wonder she could have maybe faked the shot and dished it out to Friels, who looked open more in the middle, not getting enough pressure there as of yet, as all the focus was on O'Hara.
The National Guard is proud to be the official Armed Forces partner with Sky Blue FC. Visit guardsoccer.com.
Rampone is looking for Nadeem. Weiss backtracks and pulls it in.
Many benefits offered by the Guard, including tuition assistance. That's guardsoccer.com.
Western New York certainly has a title pedigree. They won the NWSL Shield last year. They've won championships before the NWSL era. They lost in the final a year ago to Portland Thorns, and this year they're trying to scrape into the playoffs, sitting in 6th. Got 24 points. They've got a game in hand on both Washington and Portland, though, as they try and make up ground. And Aaron Lyons saying The media last week wasn't sure if this team would be able to do enough with just 4 games remaining. This ball too strong for Lloyd. Certainly you have to win today to even give yourself all that much of a chance. Really on either side, although if Sky Blue wins, they still sit a pair of points behind Western New York. Another injury.
Look, that is Kerr still down as this point she looks to be struggling as she's gingerly jogging towards the sideline.
Yeah, that's going to be it for her. Aaron Lyons just pointed down to one of the players who's warming up. Jasmine Spencer, I believe, is going to come off the bench. The other thing I'll say, there's going to be a lot of stoppage in this half, isn't there?
As of right now, I would say so. You tend to see a lot of added minutes at the end of the game regardless, but for right now we may see possibly 4 if it keeps going. Kerr's still on the field though, and she's kind of hanging towards that sideline though, and you wonder in the play that she collided with Lloyden if maybe when she came down it just kind of rolled the ankle. And it's one of those things where sometimes you can shake it off and it's fine, and other times it gets to a point where you just can't even put enough pressure to propel off and cut, and that's when you know you're better off taking a seat rather than trying to push through it.
She's trying to push through it for at least a couple more minutes. It is Spencer who will be coming in, and she just handed her card to the 4th official, so Kerr's time is now dwindling. She's making a little bit of a run here. Really no effort by Zerboni to give it to her. Now she's jogging upfield, and she may have one more run in her.
It just shows the type of heart that Kerr has, that even though you can see she's really struggling to push through it, she's going to give it her all the way till the end.
20 fouls on her.
Quick whistle, that's a foul. The sub will be coming on. Carly Lloyd's going to need to be very careful the rest of the way. That was her on the foul, and I think the referee is letting her know. And now Wambach is given a yellow card for dissent. That's her 2nd yellow card of the year.
So another yellow card given out. The pace that we're going, who knows how many more yellow cards we'll see before the final whistle.
So free kick will be coming up. It is Spencer who comes on, all of 5'1". Went to the University of Maryland, signed with Washington, was waived, came here to Western New York. 3 goals on the year, including a game winner.
And for Samantha Kerr, for the time that she was on the field, you can see she was one of the top players for the Flash. So for her, it was cut a little short, and you can see she's on the bench now, elevating that right ankle, or leg rather. It may be an ankle, maybe a knee, but she's getting checked out. And now here's Sky Blue FC looking though to try to add more to the game as they're already up 1-0.
Hayes makes the move around Williamson. The low cross is gathered by Weiss. Sophie Schmidt was active there defensively to pull it away. This is Spencer, the intended target, but Lloyden's going to grab it. You see all the sides of Sophie Schmidt if you've been here over the last 2 games. There have been times she's pushed ahead and been very useful offensively. Certainly was the case last year, and more we're seeing her become one of the best lockdown central defensive mids in the game.
And I think for Sophie Schmidt, she's kind of seen that that's the new role she had to develop, being more of a holding defensive center mid versus last year where she was more an offensive attack. We see Katie Friels now playing more of that role this season, already having 5 goals on her stat sheet. Was co-leading before Kelly O'Hara put her 6th away and now takes the lead.
A huge crowd on hand tonight in Piscataway. They're watching Sky Blue with a 1-0 lead at this point. Here's Friels, settles it. Works to the outside, sends it across, looking for Nadim, handled, and eventually cleared out by Zerboni. Stolen away, here's a shot, it's parried away. O'Hara never gave up. corner.
I believe that was Friels who took that shot as we get a look at the replay. Regardless, White's coming up with another big save to keep this a 1-0 game.
And while we've got that injury on the field, we might be able to get one more look at that last play. But regardless, it's the effort to force the ball away that you've got to be pleased with. 70th minute, 1-0 Sky Blue FC over Western New York Flash. Edmonds is back to her feet. And now, once again, it appears they're going to have to go down to 10 if Edmonds can't patrol that post. She will stay on the field and guard the near post on this coming up Friels free kick from the corner. Sent across and nodded away. Spencer on the run. Levin, the sliding tackle to keep it away.
Great tackle by Levin, now allowing the Sky Blue FC squad to get back and get into defensive position, have numbers up again.
So Sky Blue is successfully drawn back into what looks now like a 4-4-2 a little bit and morphs between a 4-3-3 as well. Dean pressuring a young back line for Western New York. Sent up by O'Hara. Nadeem giving chase, and Weiss the bomb off her right foot to keep it away.
Weiss playing very aggressive, smart move on that part, being able to come out and deny Nadia Nadeem a chance to take the shot. Beautiful ball from O'Hara, though, seeing that overlapping diagonal run.
And so Sky Blue starts it up the other way. Their elimination number down to 4. A win today crucial to trying to stay in the game. Here's the give and go. Ford fires! Knocked away again by Weiss. What a performance she's put together. That is her 4th diving save of the game.
Weiss, again, coming up huge for the Flash right now. Ford being the player to take that shot. And again, Weiss getting down low to that right side, just enough to put it away. Is now another corner kick for Sky Blue FC.
Ford has not scored this year. Sent across by Friels, headed by Nadeem, and placed it over the bar.
We have seen Ford, though, this season get on the stat sheet, having 2 assists so far. And she's always getting into the attack. She did it last year, and she's done it again this year, continuing to be such a threat on the flank on that right side. Ford, we know, can score. She has done it with the Australian national team. It's just a matter of when she might be able to put it for this Sky Blue FC squad as well.
O'Hara retreats, and a reminder that Sky Blue FC soccer presented by Meridian Health. A couple more games this year. Hayes, and the flag there stayed down, but it wouldn't have mattered. There's a foul behind the play. Williamson down.
On that play, Friel slid down, poked the ball away, but still also clipped Williamson as she's down, taking her time getting up. And there's going to be a free kick for the Western New York Flash. The referee right now deciding to not give a card for that. We've seen a lot already this season, this game. It's a matter of time to see how many more may come into play.
Sky Blue looking forward at Houston on August 9th. They play on ESPN2 against this Flash squad in Rochester on the 13th. And at Washington to close the regular season on August 16th. Although that Houston Dash home game still yet to be played. Here's Lloyd striking with the right foot. And a wicked shot on the ground. Goes wide left of the net.
That game, looking at the schedules, it's very tough to try to find a time when both teams will have a fair chance to have a game rescheduled. The league's still looking into it. We may see one late in the season, but right now, Sky Blue FC is playing as if this will be their final game in front of the home crowd.
The home crowd has had a good amount to cheer about, a lot of chances. Weiss has thwarted a fair number of them. Williamson, the pass to keep it away from Nadeem. And the clearance upfield up to Spencer. The 5'1 former Terp gets it away from Rampone.
And for the home crowd here tonight, I'm sure they're thrilled to see Sky Blue FC play so well against the Western New York Flash. As we've seen in the past, the Flash have been one of those teams where they've just been that kryptonite to the Sky Blue squad.
5-1-0 in the NWSL era, and you look at this season, a 2-0 win for Western New York at home. Turned around and struggled a bit as the season wore on. Struggling a bit at this stage of the season. And Sky Blue looking for their second win all time in the NWSL era here at Yurcak Field against this Flash team.
And on that Mother's Day matchup, that was the game where Taylor Lytle went down with the injury, forcing her to miss the rest of this 2014 campaign after having such a very strong early season performance.
Into the 76th minute, and Sky Blue continues to hold on to their second half lead. Hayes is dumped, but not enough for a foul. Instead, it's merely a throw. Zerboni was there. It's rather a foul going against Hayes.
And the initial call went in favor of the Flash as Hayes was called for the foul, and then you saw Zerboni at the end kind of drag her foot back and clip Hayes, but still the foul will go in favor of the Flash.
Off of Schmidt, who was pushed down on the play. Not a lot of Vicky Lasada that we've talked about just yet, but she was involved there.
For Sky Blue now, the key is that they really haven't allowed Western New York midfield to gain a lot of possession. They're trying to go through the midfield rather than going through them possession-wise. They're playing it just over the top, trying to go from defense to offense. And that has really been key, I think, for Sky Blue FC right now. The reason why they've had the majority of the possession and more looks on goal.
Nadeem, the header, taken back and sent upfield by Western New York. Schmidt was outraced the ball by Hayes, who misplayed it right to Lasada.
Seemed to be a little bit of a miscommunication there, or rather Hayes maybe not being able to decelerate in time as Sophie Schmidt just kind of moved her body to not get hit too hard.
Ladies and gentlemen, tonight's attendance, 3,471.
3,471, if you didn't hear that well enough. Tonight's attendance, and that's, I believe, a season high. Bermudez trying to ruin that for the fans on hand, but she's offside. That's a great sign. You wish you could have gotten more nights like this during the year. A premier matchup between two local rivals, and a very nice night to come watch a game. But it's better late than never, to say the least, for Sky Blue fans who showed up here tonight to the tune of nearly 3,500.
It is definitely the season high for the home crowd for Sky Blue FC, and they're showing it that they're putting on a great performance right now for the fans here tonight.
Hayes, couple of moves to the middle of the field, and it's taken away. Here's Schmidt, she plays it across, and it's grabbed back by the Flash. To be fair, there's a fair number of Western New York fans who made the trip, whether they be Lloyd fans or Wambach fans or fans of the Flash in general, and I'm sure the autograph session after the game is going to be a long one.
With the New Jersey native Carly Lloyd, she tends to be a big draw, and with Abby Wambach, as a fan of women's soccer for years, she has built a huge fan base, and a lot of people travel to come see her play. And for those here in attendance wondering, will she play? They got their money's worth, you want to say.
Those two have scored more goals against Sky Blue than any other player in this series between these two teams. 4 goals apiece in the NWSL era, and both held scoreless thus far tonight. Here's Wambach trying to change the tune of that statement. Shoved down by 11.
Bit of a height difference, but Cami Levin is an aggressive player and will not let her height deter her. She is one of the most physical players on Sky Blue FC.
Levin a big part of that defensive stand as Weiss kicks it back upfield. That was interesting. Nice play to keep it from sneaking behind her for Zerboni.
You heard the crowd ooh at that. I think if I tried that, I'd throw my back out. So it really shows the athleticism and the flexibility Zerboni has.
What number is that? 11?
Yeah, if it wasn't clear enough, threw that right leg back and just struck it with her back heel, but wasn't able to put it back into the attack. It's taken here for Sky Blue by Sophie Schmidt. Scored her first goal of the season against, for Sky Blue here against Washington in a 4-2 win last time out at Yurcak Field. Here's Sky Blue on the attack. The cross sent in. Hayes looks, fires up and over the post.
Ladies and gentlemen, your attention please. A substitution for your Sky Blue.
Nanasi Kidu will come off the bench for Sky Blue.
Coming off the field, number 11, Maya Hayes.
And Maya Hayes will come off to a very good ovation from a home crowd.
Another Jersey native, Maya Hayes, on that last play. Probably wishes she could have ended with a goal, but the great work from Kelly Harrod to dish it off to Hayes. Maya Hayes really was a key factor in the goal, being the one that fed the ball into the box. Maya Hayes, starting the past 3 games, has done incredible, and she's thrilled to be able to play so well against her home crowd.
Kidu off the bench for the 4th time this year. Here's Bermudez. Holds on, sends it through. Wambach not able to get there as it's kicked away. It appears nobody wants to take this throw in. Spencer will finally begrudgingly do it. And gets the back heel from Losada. Outside for a streaking Edmonds up the right wing. Sends the cross, and Lloyden comes out, makes the grab. Misplayed there by Schmidt. Kidu in a collision. Still no whistle, and kick back into this Western New York back line. Taylor for Wambach, but Levin there again.
Change it. Get it, Katie. Change it.
Levin's pass is headed away. Here's Lloyd. Bermudez sends it through. This is onside, and just a slight touch from Wambach, but not enough.
See Wambach there just a little frustrated as that touch not getting enough power behind it to put it past Lloyden. Lloyden now going to take her time, use as much as she can to draw this out, and now Sky Blue FC really has to maintain that focus for the final stretch and not falter once. For a team like this, you know, one mistake could cost you 3 points.
Right now, those 3 points could belong to Sky Blue if they're able to hold on another 7 minutes plus stoppage. And what would be a potential season-saving game for either side if they're able to pick up all 3. Nadim leaves it back. Here's the strike, and Friels put it on Weiss.
Back, Nana.
Shot right at Weiss, and Weiss doing a great job being able to secure that shot. As you can see, the rip and the power Friels had behind it. Weiss has come up big multiple times this game. Really the reason to be able to keep this only a 1-0 deficit.
Lloyd cuts it back. Lloyd through the legs of Ford, but kicked upfield by Rampone. Nadim in a foot race. And the additional move by Williamson keeps it away. The skill in this league is fairly obvious sometimes. They really put it right in your face. The back heel over the back attempted pass, the diving header attempt by Wambach earlier in this game, and certainly O'Hara's goal, which she roofed with excellent velocity, is another case of great skill.
There's a reason this is one of the best leagues in the world, and you're seeing as the league has built its momentum, you see more and more players coming over wanting to play in the U.S. You've got the best talent, and even for some of the foreign players coming in, and they use this as a way to develop their skills. And we've seen it already, Samantha Kerr being an example, Caitlin Ford as well, developing her skills here with Sky Blue FC.
Spencer tries to get by Ford. Here's the shot by Bermudez, the cross, and it's kicked away. Lloyd was there on the doorstep.
Cami Levin was the one to finally clear it away, as she almost mishit it at one point. Still 1-0 as Sky Blue FC is going to try to hold on. With the stoppage time we've seen throughout this half, there will be probably a solid amount of added time.
Yeah, I think there's probably another 8, 9, 10 minutes left in this game. A couple of injuries, a goal, a card in this half. Ford blows a tire, grabbed by Zerboni. Wambach tries to get by Rampone. Wambach in a real heated battle now, and Rampone will just kick it out. It's always fun to see those two going head to head, huh?
And then you'll see afterwards they'll be best friends again.
Two of the best players in U.S. women's national team history. Captain America and the all-time leading goal scorer. The cross is off the beak of Ford, and she's down.
That was a powerful strike there from Taylor. And just hit Ford right in the face, and she definitely took a knock there. You're definitely going to need the head training staff for Sky Blue FC, Sue Penrod. She's going to make her way over, and that's the right decision. And there's a replay. The distance so close, you can't even react to that as it bounced off of her.
And Losada is walking away. This is not what you want to see if you're Ford. She gets up, but that's something where when you take it with that much force, that close, it's going to be tough for her to gut this out the rest of the way. She'll have to come off at least momentarily, and you wonder if they use one of their two remaining subs to make sure she's okay.
This is a situation here you definitely want to be careful, see where she's at, make sure that she is okay before even thinking about letting her back on the field.
And with concussions being an ever-growing part of the sport, this is a case where you maybe bring in a very experienced defender in her place. Coco Goodson can come off the bench, and you can shuffle that back lineup as you need to.
And we've seen in the past where Lindsay Cuttrell has actually shifted out as a wide defender. And with Ford, though, she's that type of player where she's going to say, I'm okay, and push through it the best she can. She's super tough, and we've seen, maybe it's an Australian thing with Kerr and Ford both being very tough players.
Yeah, she's standing with the fourth official right now saying, put me back in, I'm ready. And now she's back on. Caitlin Ford is A-okay, and she's running right into the attack. Lofted outside, and the flag is already up on Nadine.
You saw Coach Aaron Lyons looking for that call initially. Nadim trying to hold back, but still was caught off too early. And once you get off and you come back on, it doesn't matter at that point. It's an offsides call.
Williamson finds Wambach. Extra header, Spencer. Losada not able to provide the additional support, and it's kicked away and brought up by Sky Blue. Touched on the way back, and Weiss launches it.
Ladies and gentlemen, here are the winners of tonight's tennis ball toss.
Wambach turns. Tried to leave it for Losada, who was coming up the back post. 89th minute, 1-0 Sky Blue FC over Western New York. Two teams in desperate need of a win. Sky Blue scoring in the second half. Kelly O'Hara from Nadia Nadim. Extra touch, Lloyd gets outside. It's poked away by Nick. Attack still on for the Flash. Lloyd turns, fires it across, and there's Lloyden.
Great read from Lloyden, seemed to be tracking the ball the whole time, and he was able to just pull that in for the cross inside from Lloyd. And with these two squads, you see for Sky Blue at least they're at a fuller strength as they have Kidu and Ford back, who missed the first matchup on Mother's Day due to competing in the Asian Cup. And Sam Kerr was a player who was missing, a couple others notable. And now you see with this squad, the Flash have had some injuries that have stricken them, but Sky Blue FC really stepped up the challenge, and now they just need to hold on.
90th minute. Friels will look to take her time on this rush. And now room up the left touchline. O'Hara has two running down the middle with her. O'Hara cuts outside with the left foot, and it's knocked down by Weiss.
Weiss in great positioning. O'Hara, all that work, but the final shot really went right to Weiss.
Here's Williamson, who has been a defensive stalwart for the Flash tonight. We are in stoppage time, and hey, you guessed it right, Danielle, 4 minutes.
Guessing stoppage time is kind of my thing at this point.
Here's Kidu, looking to take advantage of stoppage time. Sends it through, deflects off of the defender, Zerboni, and into the waiting hands of the keeper.
Deflection kind of went in favor for Weiss, as the initial shot may have been able to be a tougher save, but the deflection went right to Weiss. Weiss has had many saves in this game, a few diving saves that I'm sure will make the highlight reel at the end of the match, and has really helped keep this only a 1-0 game.
Match highlights, our analysis coming up in the post game, right after the conclusion of this NWSL regular season match. Mike Watts with Danielle Diavanzo, high atop Yurcak Field in Piscataway, New Jersey, home of the Rutgers Scarlet Knights, and for at least one night playing as the road venue for Carly Lloyd, who is a Rutgers alum. Incredible in her time with the Scarlet Knights, and she's looking for one stroke of magic to try and knot this game up. Bounces wide of the touchline. A throw here for Western New York. We're a minute and a half into stoppage. 4 minutes added here at the end of the match. Williamson starts it from the back. Zerboni a few touches over the top. Spencer races. Lloyden picks it up. Now 2 minutes into stoppage. Sky Blue not able to advance all that far this time around. Bermudez back, Zerboni forward. Here's Carly Lloyd, cuts outside, Spencer. Lasada. And now Lloyd the target, it falls in the middle of the box, turning, looking for a shot, leaves for Lloyd, and it's punched away. Jill Lloyden up to the challenge, and a big corner coming up with about a minute remaining in stoppage.
There's a moment there where you say, Sky Blue FC, you need to hold it down, lock it in, don't let Lloyd of all people get that shot. Jill Lloyden, though, coming up big, swatting it away.
Headed away by Schmidt. It was Taylor who couldn't quite pull the trigger and left it for Lloyd, who put a real strong shot on goal. And now Weiss is all the way forward and sends it into the box. There's Lloyden. She'll start it back up the other direction.
Lloyden now is going to take as much time as she can and try to just let her team calm down, relax, and finish this game strong.
Lines it across midfield. She knew she wasn't going to be able to outkick Weiss to the goal, so he's slow it down a little bit. Take your time. About 40 seconds left in that minimum 4 minutes of added time. Tough hop on Schmidt. Taken by Bermudez. Sends it through for Spencer! And Lloyden dives out and grabs it. Keeps it a 1-0 Sky Blue lead late.
Cami Levin did a great job of shielding off Spencer, and Lloyden coming up, using that grass to pull the ball in, using her body, being physical. And Sky Blue FC now is just waiting for that final whistle so they can walk away with 3 points at home.
Sent down for Spencer. Racing with Levin. The flag is up. It's a foul, and it's against Spencer. 4 minutes of added time complete. Now it all falls on the referee at midfield. Spencer is down. Sky Blue needed a huge performance tonight. 5 games left on their docket. their elimination number down to 4, and as some of the fans begin to file out, this was exactly the game that Sky Blue needed in front of the home crowd of over 3,400. Lined up field by Lloyden. Full time. Kelly O'Hara, the game-winning goal. Sky Blue FC 1, Western New York Flash 0. We welcome you to the Sky Blue FC post-game show presented by Meridian Health. With Danielle Diavanzo, I'm Mike Watts. Thanks for sticking with us tonight. We are the only game in the NWSL ongoing. There were a couple games yesterday as well. And Danielle, when Sky Blue was pushed up against the wall, they needed this in a big way. They came up with a huge performance.
I think they knew coming into this game, it's at this point win or go home in that. You have another loss, your playoff chances are slim to none. They came out big. They were able to keep up with the physicality of a Western New York Flash squad that's always been that way. It's always been a factor for Sky Blue. They came up to the challenge, and they come away with a 1-0 win.
Yeah, time to take a look back at some of the match highlights, and this was a very physical match in the first half, a very skilled match in the second half. Saw early that Levin was not afraid to go with some of those longer distance tries.
And that's something Levin did throughout the game, coming up that left flank, bringing the ball up, taking long-range shots, and also trying to set up her teammates. Her and O'Hara were kind of a deadly duo on the side, excuse me.
That proved to be the game-winning goal, and Kelly O'Hara took it from Nadim. That's a combination we've seen more and more. One of Kelsey Weiss's many saves. She kept Western New York in this to the bitter end.
Weiss had several diving saves that kept this just a 1-0 game, giving her team a chance. You're going to see a play here, another save from Weiss. Kelly O'Hara coming all the way up, all that work. The final shot, though, going pretty close to Weiss, not having to make much of a move for that save.
And that may be the 2-point saving move there by Lloyden to knock that down, but that wasn't it for the Flash. And that was really the game-sealing stop by Jill Lloyden to come out and grab that. Jill Lloyden, a couple of big saves. You give Kelsey Weiss credit, a ton of good saves. But at the end of the day, this goalkeeping battle ends on that O'Hara goal, and you have to be pleased if you're Sky Blue with the effort she put together, and now you just look forward to these last 4 games and you try and diagram a route into the postseason.
At this point, again, they need to keep winning if they want any chance of making into the playoffs. Kelly O'Hara has now scored 3 goals in 3 games. Nadia Nadim has gotten a point in all 3 starts, had 2 goals in the first 2 games, 1 against the Spirit, 1 against FC Kansas City, and then today got the assist, and we saw she also got an assist in the game against the Washington Spirit.
Yeah, well, it's been a very strong start for the player on loan to Sky Blue FC. Your last thoughts on this one as we look forward to 3 more games on the road for Sky Blue FC and potentially 1 more at home against Houston?
Well, on the road, we've seen Sky Blue FC just needs to continue to carry the home momentum that they've built up. They've won the last 2 here against the Spirit, now against the Flash. And I think a lot of it has to do with Nadia Nadim. She has been this spark for this Sky Blue FC squad, has given life to this club. Now they just need to keep going and keep fighting.
Well, this is yet another night where Sky Blue is in the chase for Western New York. They fall 1-0, and with only 3 games left. They need all 9 points, and then they're going to need some help to try and get it. And certainly as you look at the standings, it's going to be Washington, Chicago, Portland, all in that mix as well. And as you look at the standings, are there enough points left? We have a quick chance to mention this. Are there enough points left? 9 potential points for this Western New York squad, 12 left for Sky Blue to try and get.
At this point, you look at it, the race is so close that every game matters. So mathematically, yes, there is a chance. It's just a matter now, though, who's going to come have that end of season surge. And it's nice, though, when you look at the league, that it's so strong that it's anyone's game still, and it really will come down to that final week of games to decide 1, 2, 3, 4.
All right, well, for Danielle Diavanzo, I'm Mike Watts. For Dan Laletta and Tom Kolker, Glenn Crooks, who all joined us during pregame and halftime, and for the tremendous crew that really helped up our game here on the broadcast all season long, from the cameras to the truck to the producers and the directors to the guys doing graphics. Thanks to all of them for all their help, and we'll go ahead and find out when that Houston game is going to be, and hopefully we'll have one more time where we can talk here this season as the NWSL season comes close to a wrap. For Danielle Diavanzo, I'm Mike Watts. Final score here in Piscataway, New Jersey. Sky Blue FC 1, Western New York Flash 0. The goal off the foot of Kelly O'Hara. Have a nice night, everybody.